The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the June 30th, the magical Monday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But even more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to send me an email. Send it off to Steve at TFNN.com. Inside that subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Magical, Marvelous Monday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Well, we begin our day with a slightly mixed bag. That slight mix now is only coming from the Dow Transports. They're off 0.7% or 110 points. So the U.S. indices are trading to the upside. 135 for the Dow, 14 for the S&P, 84 for the NASDAQ, 5 for the Russell, 2 for the semis, 50 for the NASDAQ Composite, and 29 for the New York Stock Exchange Composite. Gold is up $12, with silver trading down 19 cents. Electric crude is off 67 pennies. Natural gas down 28 cents. Natural gas just cannot find any love. Copper is up a nickel. Cisco is kind of an interesting set of charts out here. Interesting in that on Friday, Cisco went ahead and formed both the TD9 count and Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal. A close above today's, Friday's high, that is. Friday's high was 69.22 or 69.28. It would negate the Rhodes Momentum Indicator pattern, but it would not negate the TD9 count. Today would be the completion of the TD9 count for its daily time frame, a la the weekly chart. Thursday will be the completion of a TD9 count top for the weekly time frame. So Cisco's got topping patterns for the daily and topping patterns for the weekly. Let's certainly monitor this chart here for, just additional signal information, see how the month plays out. By the way, on a monthly basis, the month is saying, I don't know what you're talking about as far as some kind of top out here. I don't see it. If we take a look at what the monthly chart is trading into, it has taken out a swing point. It's all-time high. That swing point was from back in December of 2021. Volume there, 471 million shares. Taken out with 410 million shares. There's another swing point, which takes us back to February of 2025, 396 million shares there. So that swing point is being taken out with volume. But the one that formed that wave number 7 top out here, that was back on December 21st. That did not. We have not exceeded that volume. Doesn't matter. We're at new all-time high. So the monthly chart is in full breakout mode. The monthly will take its P's and Q's. It'll take its signals from the daily and the weekly time frame chart. Let's keep an eye on the 30-minute chart, by the way. Nothing wrong with it as we speak. And as I look at here, so I've got on the right-hand panel of our got a set of tools to see where primary instruments are trading. I've got the daily, TD9, daily, weekly, and monthly. That last column just says M. Those are the TD9 counts, both for tops and or bottoms out there. And so you can see, it's pretty easy to take a look at Cisco when you see you've got one for the daily and the weekly. You need to have those stars by that numeric digit out there to tell you that it's an active pattern, such as with the NQ. The NQ, as you know, we talked about this all week, last week that was, and that it was the completion of a weekly TD9 count top. That says that if on Thursday price closes above that high, it negates that signal. The daily time frame does not have a topping pattern. It does have a Rhodes momentum indicator signal. That requires a bearish reversal candle to form a top out there. What was last week's high for the NQ? I'm glad you asked. Last week's high was 22,825.50. If we trade close above that on Thursday, it'll negate that signal and suggest that we head to higher price. This is different than the ES Mini. The ES Mini is going to go ahead and complete its TD9 count pattern this Thursday. It formed that pattern on Friday, completes it this week. It's forming this pattern, the TD9 count that is. It's forming it below its breakout level, which is at the 62, 78, 75 level. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get any synergy here between the NQ and the ES Mini. Daily time frame for the ES Mini, no problems there whatsoever. The communications sector has got a weekly TD9 count top. That's the XLC. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. It will complete its TD9 count top on Thursday. If we look at the daily time frame, we don't have any kind of a topping pattern out here. Now, not that one can't form between now and Thursday or now and next Monday. We just simply don't have one as we speak right now. We don't have one for the monthly time frame chart either. So it's just these weekly TD9 counts. Going to be interesting to see how they play out. Another example of one of those would be Broadcom, AVGO. Oops, that was Cisco, I'm sorry. Would be Broadcom, AVGO. Is the ticker symbol out here. And you can see that today is going to complete a daily TD9 count top. We look at the weekly time frame charts. Let's let these go ahead and populate. The weekly shows that last week was a TD9 count top. So we actually, for Broadcom, what am I pick? Oh, it's in bar 6. It's not. So the daily time frame, I did not let that populate. So the weekly is going to go ahead. It completed a TD9 count top last week. That says you've got to watch last week's high. Last week's high, 271.85. You close above that. That says that you've got a strong upward momentum move from a weekly time frame and that we should head higher. The daily time frame has a Rhodes momentum indicator signal that requires a bearish reversal candle to confirm a top. If I take Goldfields as an example, one of the only, I just have about 8 different mining stocks out here. If we take a look at GFI in its daily time frame, it's going to go ahead and form a TD9 count bottom pattern today. Now, it'll do that as long as price closes below the close of bar number 5. The close of bar number 5 is 23.84. We are trading at 23.40. So, GFI, if it closes below that 23.85 level, you'll have a TD9 count pattern. That should take price up towards 23.98 to 24.40. If it was able to get above that, we'd be looking at a battle at 24.77.25. 57 out there. Let's see, any other signals here? Microsoft has got the TD9 count for its weekly time frame. We'll pop that up there. I'll give you the high for last week out there. If Microsoft on Thursday closes above this level, it'll negate that signal, and that'll suggest a strong upward momentum move. For Microsoft, that number is 499.30 out there. No daily topping signal whatsoever at this moment in time for Microsoft. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We come back to this break. Let's take a look at our one and only request that we have. I'd love many, many more. USAR for Nitram inside the Tiger's Den. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back up, folks. If we take a look at these two charts here, the bottom panel on the left is the advanced decline oscillator. That is for the New York Stock Exchange. That is measuring the advanced decline line, which on Friday was at a new all-time high. And it's measuring the difference between the 19 and the 39 period exponential moving average. That gives us the oscillator, the difference between two things. In this case here, when that measurement is above the 0 threshold level, it provides us with a signal that buyers are the ones that have an edge out here. We take a look at the spot VIX index, which is rising this morning, but is still well below the 50-day exponential moving average, the 50-day at 2024, the spot VIX at 1738. When price remains below the spot VIX index, it also provides buyers with an edge. So what I can share with you, at least at 11:19 on June 30th out here, is that the spot VIX and the New York Stock Exchange Advanced Decline Oscillator are telling us that buyers are the ones with an edge in the marketplace out here. So I'll just simply pass that information on to you. We are also in the favorable seasonal cycle. If we take a look at the S&P 500, we'll use that as our benchmark. That's what we've got up on our screen. Here is a 97-year chart. For the S&P 500, the vertical line represents where we're at today. We can see that typically over a 97-year period of time, the S&P will rally into the early part of September and then make that move down into the end of October before we get the Santa Claus rally that begins. The month of June is a decent performing month, but the month of July for the S&P 500 is the most favorable month over a 97-year history. Now, we also happen to be in a post-election year. Election was 2024. We're in 2025. I'm going to turn off 2025 right here. And in this instance, this shows that July is also a very good performing year, perhaps the best in this cycle here. You can see that we are in a favorable period of time where we typically see the S&P 500 top out around the end of August or the beginning of September out there. So no matter now, if we shorten it down for a number of years out here, we can do that. If I put in 25 years, no reason really for me to put in the post-election cycle. Why? Because we've got 7, really only 6 different instances. But if I did that, even still, for a 25-year period of time. You'd see what we're looking at. If we just take a look at what's transpired over the last 25 years itself, we typically see we are still in that favorable time period. Typically what happens is that the S&P 500 over the last quarter of a century has topped out right around the end of July, and that has led to a sideways move into about the middle of September before we head lower and set that bottom October 10th, in this case here, average bottom out there. July, as you can see, is a very good performing month. So we're about to enter a very good performing month. Will it perform like that? That I don't know, but we don't have any signals to suggest otherwise. However, what we do have are those signals of those TD9 counts. And if July is going to have a real good performing month, that's why we want to take a look at all those TD9 counts. They would start failing. If they start failing, well, then what we just looked at from a seasonal standpoint is likely to come to fruition. We have about 5 requests that have come in, so thank you for those. Let's go ahead and get to them. The first one coming in from Nitram inside the Tigers Den. Let's look at USAR. Nitram, an interesting stock chart here. Not going to be able to do much for you on the monthly or the weekly chart out here. But with regard to the daily time frame for USAR did form a TD9 count top. Prices trading inside a bearish structured profile. Price is now below the center of that bearish structured profile. This will be 2 consecutive days below that level. What that does, Nitram, is that increase the odds that price will make a push down to profile support. And profile support is 930, and below that is breakout support at 877. So I would say at this moment in time, we're likely going to see a move towards that 877 level. Now, there's an A to B equals CD pattern I likely can draw in here as well. The B point would be, that I would use as the June 23rd low. That was at 1152, 1.7 million shares, and on Friday that was passed with 1.1 million shares out there. So what you might be setting up here is a Tiger Gartley buy pattern. Of course, that requires you to finish the pattern. That requires that A to B equals CD. It requires lighter volume the rest of the way through, and it's going to require a bullish reversal candle to confirm a bottom. So everything pointing in USAR is towards that 877 to 930 level, even 845, which is the bottom of that weekly profile. Nitram, hope that helps you out. And I hope you understand that there's really just no information to a certain extent other than that weekly profile support level at 845 to assist us with this trade. Let's go take a look at MOB. This is for Jambalaya inside the Tigers Den. MOB right now is trading out at $2.60. $2.60 takes us inside the daily profile. That's after having formed a Rhodes momentum indicator top maybe early last week. So you've got a top, a valid top. You've got a consolidation with inside its profiles. That's between the levels of 231 at support, 310 as resistance. On a weekly time frame, weekly chart runs into resistance at its breakdown level. Now we have price trading with inside its profile. Jambalaya, that range is between $2.12 to $2.92. And finally, when we look at the monthly time frame chart, it does appear that the month of June will close back inside its profile. All that needs is a close today above $2.51. So that's the center of the profile. Where's the bottom? $1.68. Okay, it is consolidating with inside its daily profile. That ranges from $1.68 all the way up to $4.59. So consolidation monthly, consolidation weekly, consolidation daily with the top out there. On the daily side of things, there's also an A to B equals CD pattern. The swing point would have been the low from June 24th at $2.64. 286,000 shares traded that day. That was passed with 352. So now on a daily time frame, we have a confirmed A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. We've also got a wave number 7 top out signal out there. Do you need more than one top? You don't need more than one top. You've already got that Rhodes momentum indicator top. That is now turned into an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. That suggests getting down below profile support, which is 231. If it does get below profile support, the A to B equals CD gets it down towards 210. I'd say it probably makes a run for that 212, 210 level. If we get it close below that, that's the bottom of the weekly profile. 212, that is. That's a new profile forming today. Then we'd be looking to move to $1.70 out there. So it looks like this wants lower price before higher price out there. And that is ticker symbol MOB. That's for Jambalaya inside our Tiger's Den, who also would like to take a look at ticker symbol BBAI. As we pull this up here on this chart, this has been a rocket ship. That rocket ship completed a weekly TD9 count top last week, and we have gapped up. And that's suggesting that that pattern is going to fail and that we would have a strong upward momentum move. That strong upward momentum move taking us into the weekly swing point from February 14th, anywhere between 755 and 1036. Volume there, 671 million shares. Last week, you're pushing with 1.3 billion shares. This week, you're already 163 million shares out there. Now, what could get in the way? Jam. The only thing that's going to get in the way of BBAI from getting all the way back to that high is going to be its daily TD9 count pattern. It completes a TD9 count top today. If price closes above today's high, whatever that is, at the moment it's 717. But whatever today's high is, if we close above that tomorrow, negates that TD9 count top, which is what the weekly's doing, and says we head all the way north. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Trader's Edge is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. Boy, Stevie screwed up here. Sorry about that. You don't see what I screwed up, but I do. Let's go to our next request out here. It's for General Electric. This is coming in from Jambalaya as well. So, Jam, the interesting thing here, if you look at the daily time frame, this had formed a TD9 count top back in the trade day of June 6th. Its work to the downside was complete as price got back to its breakout level, which was tested 3 different times at 235.10. Okay, can't bust them down. Price tries to bust them to the upside. It has done that. It did that on Friday. Price tested that TD9 count top. That was a swing point from June 6th that had volume of 5.8 million shares. Last week on Friday, we tested with 26 million shares. So you tested the swing point with volume, but you still weren't able to close above the high. TD9 count is still in effect, remains in effect unless there's a close above 257.47. Turns out that Friday was a bearish shooting star candle. That confirmed a Rhodes momentum indicator top. So we know that the sellers out here, at least, are giving you and I the signal that they really want to try to try to sell this high out here. But at the same time, we remain above its green oscillator and change line for its daily time frame and above profile. So we are above resistance. Therefore, Friday's signal, and even that TD9 count, that older TD9 count, is more of a neutral signal right now. I say right now because the weekly will go ahead on Thursday and complete a weekly TD9 count top. Therefore, if the daily still is able to retain one of its topping patterns out there to go along with the weekly time frame chart, that is suggesting that we pull back again once more to try to test support. Where would support be? Well, here, because we have the weekly chart that would be kicking in, I would say we'd be looking at the 249.33-ish level back towards that 235.10 area. The monthly chart is not an agreement, meaning it says, hey, Steve-O, it says, hey, Jambalaya, I'm ready to rally. However, you got to contend with the daily and the weekly signals right at this moment in time, and those we've reviewed. So hope that helps you out with those requests. As always, thank you for your requests. Let's go to our next one, which is coming in from The Freeze and wants to look at Nordic American tankers. Now, it's that time of year. Well, Stevie loves sports, period. I'll find some kind of sporting event to watch in the evening. Not much for regular TV. Don't even have a Netflix account. All that kind of stuff. It's, do I like movies? Yeah, but is it my thing to get tied up in the series and stuff like that? The World Series? Yeah. But no other series. So I happened to saw that the U.S. was playing in the, soccer, had that nice soccer match going on against, who were they playing? One of the Caribbean teams out there. Great team, by the way. Anyways, if you didn't catch it last night, they've got a goalie. His name is Freeze as well, but it's spelled a little bit different. I think it's Freese. What a goalie that guy is. He stopped 3 of 5 or 3 of 6 penalty kicks out there. That was really quite a game out there. And anyway, you didn't really write in to hear about that. Freeze, you wanted to take a look at Nordic American tankers, which is telling you wants lower price. Your question might be lower price to where? The next likely price target is going to be in the 252 to 258 level. You may say, hey, that's not that much further down, and you're right, you're trading at 262 right now. But if you do close below 252, then you're going to get to 244. Now, the daily is attempting to form an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. It's taken on its swing point from June 24th. Volume there, 3.3 million shares. So far for the day, 1 million shares. So you're moving into it with similar type volume. A close today below 262, and we're at 262 right now, will trigger that A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. It forms a wave number 7 top. That's courtesy of a very small portion of the Chapman wave, but it's a really good portion of the Chapman wave. And now if we take a look at that potential for that A to B equals CD. We don't have it just yet, but that would take it down towards that 249 level. So on a monthly time frame chart, we've got American Nordic tankers. It's got a TD9 count bottom. Price rallies right up into its red oscillator and change line. That's at 289. You're consolidating inside the monthly profile as well. That's what's going on with Nordic American tankers. Likely, you're going to see lower price Freeze out there, and watch that USA team. You see that maybe that goalie, maybe he's related to you. But man, did he put the freeze on those penalty kickers out there? They were good. Yvonne writes in, she'd like to look for a buy point in Reddit. RDDT is the ticker symbol out here. So let's go see if we can assist Yvonne. Yvonne, you're going to go ahead and you've got a TD9 count top that would be negated today with a close above 153.94. That swing point, which has 9 million shares, is being tested. It's being tested so far in 2 hours of trading with 17 million shares is testing 9 million. Wow. Well, I'd be shocked if it doesn't take out, but I've been shocked before, if it doesn't take out that TD9 count top. Now, if it does close above that high, again being 153.94, then that's telling us that on a intermediate term basis, price wants to make a run for 196.76 out there. That being the case, so if you get a negated TD9 count, because you certainly have the volume, then what I'm going to suggest that you do, because you want a buy point out here, not because of some type of bottoming pattern, but instead just simply a 2 or 3 or 4 day pullback out there. So what do? Figure out your allocation of what you're trying to own here, and probably ladder on in, whatever that means to you, a third, a half, 25. Whatever that means to you. Now, what happens if the daily TD9 count top does not get taken out? Well, then that says to sit tight. So the number that you're watching today, tomorrow, maybe the next day, 153.94. If that holds, and price can't take that out with volume, it's telling us something. I don't know what it is. It's telling us that it's weaker than it appears out there. That's not what I'm saying at 11:37. I would say that at 4:01 this evening if price does not take out that TD9 count top. Let's go see if we could look at that next instrument for you, see if we've got any kind of entry area, and that's ticker symbol CAVA out here. Kava is trading right now at $84.26. It's having a beautiful day. It's having a beautiful week. On a daily time frame, it had a TD9 count bottom. It formed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. Pattern on Friday out there. Price is now trading above its daily TD9 count breakdown resistance level. Yvonne, I know why you want in. Got that nice daily bottom pattern. Now, on a weekly basis, this may run into resistance at 86.30. That's the top of its profile that formed last week. Therefore, at 84.17, we're not going to have you jump in knowing that resistance is right there at the 86.30 mark. What do you want to do? See how price handles 86.30. If it fails there, begins to pull back, I would look for a 2 to 3 day retracement on ticker symbol CAVA. Looks pretty good for its monthly time frame. It is trading with inside a bullish structured monthly profile. Support 76.78. Resistance up at the 140.55 level. So, Yvonne, thanks for writing in and hope that helped you out with both those ticker symbols. And I will look forward to your next request. We come back to this break. Mohammed wants to look at CRCL, BJ. Eddie wants to look at NVIDIA. And Eddie wants to know, hey, where the heck can this S&P 500 run to? Let's see if we can answer his question. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets. with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direction. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We're taking a look at ticker symbol CRCL. This is from Mohammed. Mohammed, this has not been trading for very long. I've got no profiles. I've really got no data to speak of out here. What can we take from this at this stage of the game? This was trading lower. It had an inside day a couple of days ago. An inside bar typically tells you continue in the same direction that you came from. Today is an inside bar. So if we go along that theory, this is going to suggest that this is going to continue to pull back further out here. That is really the best that I can do for you on ticker symbol CRCL. Maybe BJ has a better track record of data. Let's go ahead and pull that up. I'm not sure if this is the wholesale club or not. It really doesn't matter what it is. What it is doing, though, it is trading below the bottom of its daily profile. A nice long, wide-ranging bar out there. 107.22 is the print. It's testing the bottom of its weekly profile. Mohammed, that's at the price point of 107.02. Now, of course, it's going to be a Thursday close, not necessarily a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday close. But if you do see price trading below that bottom of that profile at the 107.02 level, could be signaling we want to move, or it wants to move lower. The daily time frame is pushing into the swing point for May 14th. Only 2 million shares traded that day. So far, you've already done 1 million shares. So you're coming to that swing point with volume. If you trade below, close below 107.02, which there's that number again, that's going to signal we head lower. Now, head lower to where? What jumps up on my screen is 105 and change, 105.92 to be exact. That is the weekly oscillator and change line after last month. I said weekly. I meant monthly oscillator and change line after last month. I'm talking about the month of May, forming a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. The weekly's got a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top with that consolidation inside that profile. So you are up against a fairly strong level of support. That's at 107.02 level. So keep your eyes, Mohammed, glued to 107.02. This should be support, but if it's not, well, then you start heading down towards 105.91-ish, and below that, we're looking at 97.54, 91.43, 85.77. Those would be the marks that you'd be looking at. Dan wants to take a look at Nike out here. Let's pull up Nike, and Dan is interested in going short. Eddie wanted to look at NVIDIA. I apologize. I wrote it down. I didn't write it down on on one of my systems, but I did put the chart in here. So, Dan, I'll come back to you with regard to Nike in a moment. NVIDIA, Eddie, daily time frame all out bullish. Weekly time frame completed a TD9 count top last week. So if NVIDIA is going to run, we need to see a Thursday close above last week's high. Last week's high, 158.71. We won't have any information really until then, unless it takes out with some type of wide range of bar. And the next day would really be tomorrow. I suppose even on Wednesday as well. But right now, no daily top, but you do got that weekly top. No monthly top, by the way, out there. So it's really all going to be about the weekly, Eddie. So watch that number. Again, last week's high was 158.71. We're at 157.95 right now. The next question coming in from Dan, who did want to take a look at Nike. Nike, he went long. Nike sold into that sign of strength on Friday of last week as this thing had gapped up. So as we look at first I want to look at the monthly time frame. Monthly time frame has an A to B equals CD pattern. It has not gotten down to that level. However, what Nike is doing so far right now, just by a smidgen, that it really hasn't done for many months. In fact, it has not done this since April of 2023. And that is this. Dan, it is now trading above its oscillator and change line. The oscillator and change line is currently printed at 68.89. If we close above that today, well, that will be a short-term positive. Price is also trying to get inside its profile. To accomplish that task, you need to see it close above 70.82. We're at 71.60. So it close above 70.82, as well as it close above that oscillator and change line at 68.89. Those are going to be two kind of subtle bullish signals for Nike that are going to suggest higher price. Higher price to where? Well, $77.42 is the next profile level for its monthly time frame. That pops up on our screen, and above that, 84.02. The weekly time frame, you already have a profile change in trend. We closed above the top of its weekly profile on Friday. That number was 63.75. This looks like this may be the second week to the upside out there. On a daily time frame, Nike closed above its TD9 count breakdown resistance level at 68.89. That is a bullish outcome as well there. Where could Nike be headed to? Well, it has a daily TD9 count top that formed on February 26 out there, and that's between the range of 84 to 82.44 out there. So I know you went short. Stevie's not seeing it. Not seeing it in the charts. Does not mean I'm right at all. But watch that monthly chart. That's the one that I think is really giving you that piece of information that says time to be careful being short Nike. The next request that came in was from McGuppy, who wanted to take a look at ticker symbol VST. Let's pull that up on our screen out here. VST is trading out at $195. And it went ahead and completed a weekly TD9 count top last week, McGuppy. Could you look at long-term? I believe it might be topping. Well, you're right about the weekly topping pattern. However, if we get a close above 198.20, you get a close on Thursday above 198.20, it negates its weekly TD9 count top. The daily was negated on Friday. So it does, as you said, in your message inside the Tiger's Den, your long-term and believe it might be topping. Where do I see support? Okay, well, first, so it might be topping, yeah, but the daily negated it. Where's the daily support? Well, first level would have to be 191.73. Below that, 164.67. I ain't saying it's going there. Now, the weekly was also pushing into a swing point. Let's look at the monthly. The monthly is pushing into the swing point from January 2025. 213 million shares are pushing into it with 103 million shares. So much lighter volume there, but you can still push into a swing point light volume and continue to move higher out there. So the daily is looking bullish. The weekly, you won't know till Thursday out there. Support on a weekly time frame, I'd have to say it's old resistance, which would be 173.32. Support on the monthly time frame would now have to be the top of the profile because price is above that. That is at 173.17. So that's what I see when I take a VST. You also wanted to look at Amazon. AMZN is a ticker symbol. Let's see what we can find here. On the case that's Reddit. I didn't get Amazon in, but let's do that anyways. AMZN. Stevie needs to learn how to type. That'll make it much easier. Amazon. Yeah. I got my wedding invitation. I did. It wasn't a Bezos' wedding, though. That's the thing. It wasn't in Italy either. It wasn't in Venice. And Venice is not one of my favorite cities. If we take a look at Amazon, if you got a bearish reversal candle today, and you've got that right now at 1150, it's a dark cloud cover candle, that would form a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. That would suggest a pull back towards the 218 level. Below 218, we're looking at 204 and a quarter to 207.40. Weekly TD9 count top is going to complete this week out here. So you got the daily with the top, potentially with a top. Got to just see what kind of candle forms today, and the weekly will complete a TD9 count top come Thursday. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. We're taking a look at the charts here for Moderna. This is for Kate inside the Tiger's Den. So, Kate, as we take a look at Moderna, first thing that we'll look at is the monthly time frame. It completed a TD9 count bottoming pattern. It did that in the month of May. It's had basically no movement in the month of June. Its upside price target here would be that red oscillator and change line. Current print on that, 37.76. Weekly time frame has a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. So the monthly's got a bottom, the weekly's got a bottom. All it's done is move sideways. What that tells us is that this is under accumulation. In other words, it's just moving sideways. Don't know that, well, look, you do whatever you want with regard to Moderna. What Moderna's not been able to do is even get back inside its profile level. To do that, it would require a close above 30.87. sideways action, potentially just simply dead money. If you look at the daily time frame, in fact, did form a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom pattern. We saw basically a 3-day rally out here that took us into the highs of May 20th. And since May 20th, this has been trading sideways ever since. That swing point that is set up back on May 20th had volume about 37 million shares. You got into it on Friday with 11 million shares so far today, about 6 million shares, light volume. Now, the daily looks okay because it's traded above profile resistance, but we have to. You don't have to, but when I take a look at the daily, when I take a look at the weekly and the monthly chart out there, it is just looking like dead money out there. I was unfortunately, Eddie, the charts that I wanted to get for the S&P 500, I didn't have access to. I'll have to do that. It was really the horizontal trading range, primary trading range numbers that I wanted to give you. If I was going to give you where is it possible from a Fibonacci standpoint, where is it that the S&P 500 could be moving to, I would go ahead, if I can get this here to pull down, I would look at it, my expansion of a set of swing points out here. Let's do our Fibonacci expansion. That would be from the high of February in 2025 down to the low that took place out here in April. And the 1 to 1.272 expansion of that level is at 6,501. So right now, one number I would go with would be 6,500. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Folks, stay tuned for all the great programming. I'll be back at about 3:15 with Tommy Jr. Have a magnificent Monday. Take care, folks, and thanks for joining me.